You fool! Warren is dead. Welcome to HorrorBabble. Today I'm pleased to present a story by a contemporary author, Borrowed Light by David Last, a tale of haunted memories and sinister reflections. See the description below for more on David and his numerous artistic endeavors. I hope you enjoy this one. Borrowed Light by David Last. Life is not a series of gig lamps symmetrically arranged. Life is a luminous halo, a semi-transparent envelope surrounding us from the beginning of consciousness to the end. Virginia Woolf. The morning light on the deck is pure gold, spilling across the weathered wood and onto my chest. It's Sunday, and I'm sitting, coffee in hand, watching the light climb higher over the sea. The waves catch the brilliance in their crests, shimmering for a moment before dissolving, gone forever. The sky above is nearly cloudless, a deep blue that seems to go on and on. At sunrise or sunset, the waves are topped with slanting shards of luminous orange, pink, and gold, which tumble in and out of existence, an endless churn of energy, like the markets, rising and falling. I think of this deck as my modest reward for my achievements, for my skill at surfing those waves, the waves of the markets, just like the waves of personal relationships, rising up, then falling away once the value is gone. The light always floods this place, no matter the season. Mornings are the best, when everything is still and glowing, before the heat of the day blurs the horizon. This is where I think the least, or where I try to anyway. I try to let the light wash over me, let the sound of the ocean soften the edges of things I don't want to remember. But sometimes the light, for all its beauty, has a way of bringing the past into the now. Something surfaces I can't ignore, a memory. I find myself captured, miles and years away, while staring at the glinting waves or the wobbling reflection of the sun in my whiskey. The smell of the redwood drifts through, and I close my eyes and inhale deeply. When I had this deck built, they tried to tell me other types of wood would be more cost-effective and would look no different with the right stain. But I didn't build this place for other people. I built it for me. I would know if I cheaped out, and I'm living my best life out here. So, now I'm surrounded by redwood. I think I can feel the wisdom of the ancient trees as I inhale the subtle but wonderful aroma. Worth it. Opening my eyes, I sip my coffee and flip through the mail absent-mindedly. Bills, a paper catalogue for expensive home electronics, a postcard. I pause. Postcards don't come often anymore, relics from the 20th century. The front shows a lighthouse in full color, the kind of uplifting image that feels a little false. I flip it over and see the scroll, handwriting I recognize but haven't seen in years. Paul's handwriting. Did you hear about Sam? Died in an accident. Survived by his wife and kids. Tragic. Hope all's well with you. We're still in RI. That's all it says. The postcard feels heavier in my hand than it should. Sam. His name hits me with unexpected force, like a window I'd left cracked open as blown wide, cold air rushing in to fill the space. The light has shifted. A sliver of metallic orange. It seems a little too sharp now. I see Sam in my mind, his broad, easy smile, his tall frame filling the doorway of Susan's apartment, the way he always seemed to take up more space than anyone else, looking like he belonged there. Natural habitat. Susan, my first wife. I'd wanted her so badly. The way she used to look at him before everything changed. Before I changed it. It was easy. Sam, like most of us at that age, liked to party. I simply mentioned Sam's drinking, of course. Made it sound like concern, like I was just a good pal looking out for her. It was easy to plant the seed, to make her question what she thought she knew about him. Didn't need to do much. People see what they want to see. They're wired that way. She started noticing things. How he ordered a second drink at dinner. How his laugh grew louder. His gregarious charm turning sloppy as the night wore on. By the time I asked her if she was really sure about him, she wasn't sure about anything. One sober hiking getaway later, she broke their engagement, and she was mine. I don't remember her ever looking at me the same way she'd looked at Sam, but then again, every relationship is different. The light on the deck shifts again, a shadow creeping in as the sun moves higher. I set the postcard down and stare out at the waves, but the image of Sam's grin lingers. The last time I saw him was at a party, years after Susan had left him. He was polite. I remember the way the light caught his glass that evening, the amber tequila inside glowing like liquid fire, as he raised it in a quiet toast among friends. We didn't speak, but his eyes found mine, that damn grin blooming, and something passed between us in that moment. I've never been able to shake it. Screw it, he deserved it. The sun climbs higher, but the warmth on my skin feels different now, like it's trying to burn away something hidden just beneath the surface. It's mid-afternoon now, and I move inside for the coolness of the house. The light here is different, thinner, more fractured as it filters through the tall windows, casting long shadows across the floor. I sit in the living room, leaning back in the white leather Minotti chair, the familiar quiet settling in around me. It's peaceful here. Or it should be, but the light pulls me back again. Thinking back to my old office, the proof I'd finally made it. The corner office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. I spent years staring out at that view, with clients on speakerphone, only half paying attention to their inane opinions. Watching the world go below me, the little machine easy to control. I loved the way the sun would hit the glass towers in the late afternoon, how the light would bounce between buildings, scattering across the skyline, shards of gold. It was on one of those afternoons that I heard about Pete. The windows gleamed pink. A late afternoon email from a colleague came through. Peter Markovitz, dead at 34. Suicide. The words felt unreal, but the light stayed the same, indifferent, warm as ever. It poured into the office, filling the space with a soft glow, vibrating with a slow, calm heat. I still felt cold somehow. I think of one evening. I knew Pete was a few steps behind me coming back to the office, but I didn't hold the door, just let it close in front of him. Peter had been my closest competitor, the one everyone assumed would get the corner office. He was smarter than me, better connected, and I knew that if I didn't do something, I'd be stuck under him forever, doing all the work and getting none of the glory. So I did what I had to do. Just a little office gossip. Made it sound like poor Peter was under too much stress. Combed through his history and cherry-picked some failures. Recognized a possible future issue with a recent judgment, and whispered to a friend or two that he'd been making questionable decisions. Pointed out how he'd always nervously turned down socializing amongst our team in order to unwind by himself. A coiled spring, a disaster just waiting to happen. Even better, it turned out he had secrets. Easy to drop a stray word. People love to talk. No pity in the city. Pretty soon the grapevine was asking if he could be trusted to handle the pressure. It didn't take long for the partners to start doubting him. I could see it in their eyes during meetings, and the way they crossed their arms when he spoke. I pushed a little more, just enough to tip the balance, and then watched as all the things I'd invented came true. He felt the condescending looks from his peers, started having anxiety attacks, got a reputation for losing it, and his career fell apart. I remember at the time being delighted he was dumb enough to oblige and walk himself right into the tar pit. I'd surfed that wave right into the corner office and never gave it a second thought. But then, 4 years down the line, that email. The light in the office hung in the air, suspended as if time had stopped. I remember sitting at my desk, staring at the photo of him in that email. He was grinning, alone at his desk, then turning to look down at the matchbox cars in the miniature city, as if I'd find some kind of absolution out there. But there was just the endless reflection of sunlight off the glass buildings, the world carrying on as if nothing had changed. I didn't go to his funeral. He lost and the best man won. Screw it. The sun is setting now, casting everything in a rich orange glow. The shadows are long on the beach, stretching out like dark fingers reaching for the house. I stand on the deck again, watching the light fade, feeling the air grow cooler as the day slips into dusk. Purple-blue and cool. Joan's face drifts to mind. I haven't thought about her in a while, but she surfaces now in perfect focus. The way she used to look at me, almost shy but with an edge, like she knew more than she let on. She was clever. That's what drew me to her in the first place. It was good for a while. She was ambitious too, which I liked. We clicked. She understood the world I moved in, knew how to play a part. I suppose I helped her here and there, introduced her to people, made sure she was seen. And I got what I wanted in return. Some laughs, a lot of data crunching. It wasn't complicated. We both benefited. She moved on eventually. We drifted apart. We surfed onward. The waves come up, the waves go down. People come and go. We never really said much about it. By the time she left for Los Angeles, I had other things on my mind. But now, standing here, there's something about the memory that feels different, like I'm seeing her face through a clouded window, and I can't tell if she's got a jaunty grin or an expression of subtle disgust. She was smarter than most, I'll give her that. Smarter than Susan, for sure. Or maybe she just knew when to leave. The light grows dimmer. Funny how the past comes back, uninvited. Joan's face lingers a bit longer than it should, but I shake it off. Whatever, screw it. There's something in the wind tonight, a sharpness to it that wasn't there before. It smells of salt and seaweed, but underneath that there's something else, something colder. I feel it in my bones, the way you feel a storm coming before it hits. My skin crawls. On the back of my neck, I feel a little sick. I breathe in, and then I see it. At first, it's just a dark shape, a silhouette standing in the surf, thigh-deep in the waves. The light is fading quickly now, but I can make it out through the haze, standing still, facing the shore. It doesn't move, but I know it's watching, waiting for something. At first, I think it's a neighbor who strayed onto my property. Who is this idiot? I blink, and the figure is clearer now. Taller, too tall, tall and gaunt. Familiar, though. Sam? No, Pete. Maybe. Maybe Joan? Or maybe it's all of them. In the fading light, the lines of time and memory overlap, until they're one and the same, come into a singular focus. Those I've stepped over, all the lives I've taken from, in ways too subtle to be called murder, but no less final. The wind picks up, and I smell the sea, sharp and briny, as the waves crash against the shore. As the violet sky gives way to a deeper ruddy purple, the horizon fades, the waves and the heavens bleeding together. The figure remains there in the water, but the space between us feels thin, like a membrane ready to tear. I definitely don't feel right. My pulse rate is up. I can feel it in my chest. The light is almost gone now, the sky darkening, and I feel the weight of the years pressing in on me, the weight of the lives I've taken to build this one, the life I've leveraged, piece by piece, from those who thought I was a friend, people who were probably better than me, if I'm being honest, like Sam, like Peter, like Susan and Joan. They've come to claim what's theirs. That's it, isn't it? The last sliver of sun disappears below the horizon, and the figure finally comes into sharp focus, lean and hungry, and pitch black. It reflects nothing at all. If it has a face, I can't see it, and no hands. My shoulder blade begins to ache, and I shrug, tilting my head, trying to relieve the dull throb. As if it was waiting for that motion, it's suddenly alive. It steps forward on long, spindly legs into the shallow water, advancing toward the beach. I can hear the blood rushing in my eardrums, like the surf, but lower, faster. My chest feels tight. I should retreat inside, but I can't stop watching. It steps out of the water now, its blunt legs stabbing into the sand. It's closing in, faster. Color of the void, eating all the light, reflecting nothing. I grimace at the sudden sharp pain in my chest. It keeps coming, faster now, pure black void. My body constricts. Cold sweat breaks out on my scalp. I stand, frozen, watching as the darkness closes in, and for the first time, I realize the light that I've bathed in all these years, it was never mine. It was borrowed from the others. A shadow falls over me as it rears up. Doesn't even make sense to scream. No more borrowed light. I guess it's time now to give it all back. If you enjoyed listening today, be sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting the red subscribe button below. After doing so, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button to receive new content notifications. If you'd like to support our work and receive exclusive perks, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. To support us in other ways, see the video description for links to our Bandcamp and Patreon pages, our merch store over at Teespring, and further information relating to our releases on Audible, iTunes, and Spotify. And until next time,